All right, welcome to the Fit Agent Show. With me today, I have somebody that I really look up to, not only in business but in fitness as well. Her name is Khristie Gass. Khristie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I look forward to teaching everybody about everything that I know about fitness.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, for anybody that doesn't know you, can you kind of give us a quick elevator pitch on, well, honestly, maybe the last 20 or so years of your life and how you got in?
Ooh. Okay, so I opened a women's gym 17 years ago. Small facility. It was 7,000 square feet. After 5 years, decided to build from scratch because I rented, and I opened a 12,000 square foot gym, still all for women. So that is my niche. I had a swimming pool, wet area, jacuzzi, sauna, steam room in the facility. I in the 17 years, I became the face of Reebok. I also created Funky Fusion and I'm a master trainer for Matrix Fitness. So that's kind of a quick summary of my history in the fitness industry. But yes, I've been in the fitness industry for it seems like my entire life.
Wow. And then you got into real estate, I guess, in the last, how many years has it been since you got into real estate?
I got in real estate 5 years ago. I actually decided to sell my gym. I think it was just that time in my life. I needed a new season, and my gym was on the market for an entire year. I felt the marketing wasn't being marketed right. I just didn't feel like the commercial it was saying they were saying it was a single source, which is a huge obstacle to overcome if you're in the commercial industry. You'll understand what I'm talking about. And so I decided to get my actual real estate license to sell my gym, not to be a
Yeah.
real estate agent.
Take it as
In
your,
the meantime,
yeah.
of me get my license, my gym sold.
Okay.
And at that course of period, I wasn't like, I'm not going to give up on this journey. I'm going to finish. I'm going to get my license. I still had a small facility, personal training at the same time that I was actually selling real estate. So I just coincided them together and
Yeah.
then actually closed because that was a 3,000 square foot gym that I opened in the meantime of my 12,000 that I had a
Okay.
shopping center in. And so I ended up closing that facility and pursuing real estate full time just because I enjoyed it and it was just time for a new season. I love fitness. I love people. I love seeing their journeys. It was just time for a new challenge, though.
Got it, got it. What got you into, like, the fitness, years ago? Like, was there anything in particular that really.
Yes. So, I both of my parents passed away. Both of my parents died to cancer when I was in high school, within a year apart. I was at the age of 16 and 18. I was overweight, probably by 60 pounds. I was athletic, played soccer, cheerleading, did all the things, but still didn't realize the balance of how exercise and diet definitely correlated. I was
Got it.
eating, I'll be honest, bacon double cheeseburgers, French fries. What you do in high school,
Sure,
in
sure.
college, and that correlated to my parents also. I was like, well, is it genetic basis that they passed away, or does it have to do with our environment? And then I dug a little bit deeper, and that made me want to open up my gym. I actually went to college for kinesiology, and we can't do much with that degree.
Yep,
So
yep.
I decided
Know what you
to.
mean.
So I decided to open a gym up. My sister's a CPA. She told me how to write a business plan. I got a small little SBA loan at first,
Uh-huh.
and that's kind of what started my journey. So people automatically assume that you have to have money in order to create something or to build something. It's all about motivation
Yeah,
and what you have inside you. And when I lost my parents, I was kind of left with, what do I do with this life? They were 45 and 47. They
yeah,
were very young. And I said, if I only live to be that age, I'm going to do as many things as I can. And I don't care how impossible, because nothing's impossible. It's only within yourself that it's impossible. I feel
amazing.
anything's possible as long as you set your mind to it, and it's motivation, internal thoughts. And so that's kind of what gave me the motivation to open a gym, because I was a member at a women's gym,
Uh-huh.
and I was teaching there, and they were telling me kind of their thoughts, how their needs were not being filled. And
Yeah,
that's kind of what motivated me to open the gym, in correlation with losing my parents and in correlation with get my kinesiology degree. And what am I going to do with this degree? So they
yeah.
kind of all I say fell in my lap. Nothing falls in anybody's lap, but kind of why my thought process went that direction.
That's amazing. I'm sure there was, like, probably some tough times kinda getting that off the
Ooh.
ground. What,
It took me a year to get the loan. If I started, the loan was only 150,000, and
okay.
it took me an entire year to process, because SBA is very slow process, and they want you to fill out. Um, the dictionary, and then also give them your firstborn. So it's a long process, but at the same time, I think they also want to make sure that they're giving their, I mean, it's government money, that they're giving their money to actually someone that's going to utilize it. Also, being a woman's only gym gave me that niche to grab that part of the SBA.
Yeah.
And so that was almost unbearable. But they did finally, after a year, give me the money, and I had to give equity up. I had $30,000 equity in my house, and I actually put my house on the line at that point in time.
Wow. So just like a zero option mentality, just like doing whatever it
Just
takes to make it work.
whatever it took. And then at 5 years, my sister, CPA, very smart, talented, she was like, "You're paying $15,000 a month in rent. You could build a facility and pay that much in mortgage. So
Oh,
why
wow.
are you paying 15,000?" We had bought property. I bought property in my third year in business.
Uh-huh.
Because of my CPA sister, I was only 22. So
Wow.
definitely
Super
it was
young.
definitely
Yeah.
because of her knowledge that kind of helped pursue the land and actually building. And it took me 9 months to build. So within my fifth year, I moved out, and that's when I built the 12,000 square foot facility. And I listened to what women wanted in that facility, and that's why I had a pool, jacuzzi, sauna, steam room, daycare, all the things that women need when you go into a full fledged facility. They're going to need
Yeah.
daycare, they want a pool, they want a wet area. So people say curves, and they automatically say, "Oh, you had a curves." I'm like, I mean, you can call it curves, but it was more than just curves. We had 30 group X classes a day. I had 40 employees. So it was a full-fledged facility
Yeah.
that I would never regret. I enjoyed every bit of it, but emotionally taxing towards the end. And so I think that's why I had to just change my journey. I love people. I love educating others, and in anything, even if it be in real estate. I mean, I have to educate myself every day in real estate because I definitely got in this arena not knowing anything at all.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel education and knowledge is a tool, and that's growth. And so, any time that you can grow, you get yourself out of that actual position that you feel comfortable, and
Yep.
then growth becomes who you are
Yeah.
every day.
Wow. I'm sure there was probably some things like what how else did you stay motivated throughout that time? Because I know, I mean, that business probably had its ups and downs and
Oh gosh. Really, yes. I had moments left crying, absolutely, and definitely December, like October, November, December were months that you didn't get new members, and you would lose members, and I was on a daily basis of my sister, of course, like she was on me. She was like my mom figure at this point in time. How many
yeah.
members did you lose, and how many members did you gain? Every single day, it was a number game.
Okay, so tracking the numbers every day. Wow.
Every day. And so every month it was, the daily I consumed, but then on the monthly, you lost 30 members. We really need to obtain 40 members because, and I don't mind sharing, my overhead was $50,000 a month. So you don't really have the option to say, I'm going to give up today. Because I give up, I lose my
You're
house.
in
My
water.
house was,
Yeah.
I gave up my house, my cars. I put everything on the line to open this business because when I built the gym, I took out a $2 million loan.
Okay. Wow.
So, I mean, when I opened up the gym that I built,
Yeah.
and that was an opportunity. So even on the bad days, I had to think about my family. I didn't have my son then, when I opened my gym, but I had to think about where do I want this to go? So absolutely, was it challenging every single day? But then also you have those great moments where members are coming up to you. Thank you for having this gym. Thank you for the weight loss journey that you've brought me through. And women crying because of home life or whatever it may be. So that kept me going because it kept them going. And I think that you coincide and you create relationships that last forever that I still have today. And that helps you to keep moving forward, even on those bad days, which were probably more than the good days, to be totally
Yeah.
honest with you. But I think to uh, maneuvering through, I would always create something. I created Funky Fusion. I became part of Matrix. I feel like too within fitness, there's so many lanes that you can go down. So I
Yeah.
made sure to keep growing knowledge or learning to let's get in this lane or that lane or and not staying stagnant, which also kept me motivated to not be in
Got
the
so you're
same
constantly kind of like evolving through the industry.
Correct, because fitness never remains the same, even today. So when I opened the gym, it's called cycling today,
Yep.
but we were on spin bikes when I
Okay.
opened my gym, and but it evolved back now. Cycling is huge, But
Yeah.
I had it the second I opened my gym in 2003. Oh, no. Yeah, 2003, I opened the gym.
Uh-huh.
So the day I opened the gym, but it was called spin. It evolved and now it's called cycling.
Got it.
Same thing with circuit or weight training. You were working on particular body parts. Then we broke it down into circuit. Now we're going back to the body parts individually. So I feel
Yeah.
like everything comes back and it comes in full circle. So, but you had to evolve because I had a competition. Even though I was the only women's health club,
Yep.
people also wanted to go with their families to, have a full family membership. So
Sure.
I would
Yeah.
lose members on a daily because they were like, well, now I have kids and my husband, and
Yeah.
um, that
But there had to
also
be
was challenging. Go ahead. Sorry.
so there had to be a ton of pros also, like, I guess with it being an all women's gym, I'm sure a lot of women thrived off of, like, being in that environment and being able to kinda probably confide in you guys as the trainers and the other members is like, they're almost like their safe space maybe when it came to, like,
No,
their
I
medical wellness.
100%, absolutely. When, I was the only women's gym in Lafayette, so people would walk in and not feel intimidated.
Yeah.
Not to say that they should feel intimidated by men, but depending on their confidence and their stage in their life where they didn't want to worry about hair, makeup, what they wore to work out. I did make that a big tagline. My tagline was "Inspire Yourself."
Okay.
And
I like
I said that because it wasn't about, and I didn't want girls in sports bras. Not that I care, not that I'm opposed to that, but I felt like everyone was comfortable around someone in a tank top and and actually like whatever it was, shorts or pants, rather
mhm.
than sports bra or crop tops. So not that
Yeah.
I put that as a downfall, but I didn't really I guess when I was did my marketing, it was marketing more about be you. I don't want to create this environment of women against women. I want us
Yeah.
to be one and to help one another, no matter weight, age, career. That needed to not be the focus when you walked into the gym. I mean, it needed to be to work on yourself or work on the person who is next to you that might be intimidated to walk into the gym because typically it's intimidating to walk into any gym,
Yeah.
but if you get that freeing vibe that other people aren't looking at you, they're actually looking at it as a whole. I felt like I built a community. I had a community of women that would come in every single day, even not to work out, just to see their friend that they met.
Yes.
So it
Yeah.
wasn't only just about working out, it was about having that sense of friendship, community, camaraderie, everything that you want in life that maybe you didn't have in high school or college or whatever it may be. You found that at my gym because we had all walks of life. And you have to fit in when you're in high school or college or those things, you didn't have to fit in. You fit
Yeah.
in where you felt you were fit in the most, which if it was with an 80-year-old grandma working on the treadmill or the 20-year-old that came in, and she's in kinesiology in college. So I didn't feel like there was a niche to the group of women I had. It was all walks of life. And I feel like that's why everybody felt so comfortable. And it was all women too. But you
Yeah.
can have all women that are go in a direction that they're competitive.
Yeah.
And that's not what I created because it wasn't about, it was being the best that you can be, but not better than your neighbor.
Well, I think that's great to the like focus on the best that you can be because that's the same thing we're trying to do on a daily basis here now. It's like it's not me versus you on really anything. It's how great
No.
can you be in your fitness and your relationships and your marriage and your health and your business and everything else. What are some ways that you kind of helped promote that within the gym? Was it just like the banners on the wall? Like how'd you make sure that that
Um,
was a main focus?
well, I taught all my instructors because we were a big group X. That was one of my main goals was to have big classes. We would have 150 to 200 people in our classes. Built a 2,500 square foot group X room. So what I taught my instructors whenever they would actually introduce themselves, because you have to introduce yourself and you want to make sure that everyone feels, that they are happy to be there. And I tried to teach them because it wasn't me. It's a
Uh-huh.
team effort. And
Yeah.
so I had to teach my team that it's about them that are coming to your class. They're going to keep us alive. So you need to make them feel like they're included in every single aspect of our lives. I don't care if they're new, if they've never taken. So you want to make it feel like they could be beginner or advanced. So it wasn't really only about me. It was about the team that I created that made them feel welcome inside the gym. Because when they would teach a class, we would say this is for all fitness levels. Please don't leave our class come at least 3 times, and then tell us what you loved or hated about the class, because that's the
Yeah.
only way that we can survive as a gym. So I think by making it about them and not about us, they made it feel like it was their community, because I didn't want it to be about my gym. I could care less who
Yes.
owned the gym. It was
Yeah.
more about I couldn't have a gym if it wasn't them coming, and if my instructors didn't correspond or correlate what I wanted them to as well, then we wouldn't have had the success we had with the gym. So I feel like that's how we had made them feel confident and successful to walk into our gym, was by all my actual team that I trained, because it wasn't about me. It was
Yeah.
about everyone. I mean, don't get me wrong. They would come and walk in. They would be like, "Yeah, we heard about your story," but they might go to Sheila's class or Courtney's class, and I didn't want them to only come to my class. I
Correct.
wanted them to feel successful with any of my instructors. So we would have it very similar to real estate. You have monthly meetings. How can you succeed? How can you grow your business? It's all that's the same. It's you. I just crossed that over and brought that to this business. It's
Yeah,
the
well, I feel
same.
like the same thing's true no matter if you're like a single agent that's just working with buyers and sellers and you want to be focused on them, or if you're running a team and leading a group of agents, like you need to be focused on them and what their goals are and how they can accomplish them, not how you can kind of just push yourself along. So,
No, no,
uh,
I
you-
definitely agree, and I think that too. Some agents feel, even team or not a team, it's about getting to the closing table, right? So we need to accomplish that. Is get to the closing table. So
yeah,
if I have to buy my client a brand new door because that's going to close a deal, well, I think
figure it out.
I'm going to buy the client a door,
Yeah,
because I wouldn't have that commission. So I feel it's still working together as a team, even
yeah,
though you're not a team with that agent. I mean, you have to have. I mean, I feel a good relationship.
yep,
I feel like if you have good communication between you and the agent, it's a solid deal and you'll get to the closing table. But it's about
absolutely.
building that foundation. I mean,
Yeah,
everything's about building a foundation. I don't care if you've never talked to this agent. Um, I feel like that's also, and that crosses over everything that I was taught or taught others in the
yeah.
fitness industry. It's
But I'm kind
building
of curious,
relationships with
how
foundation.
was that transition going from the big gym? I know you said you downsized a little bit and then kind of went into real estate. How was that transition? What were some of the skills and things that you learned in the gym business that you were able to kind of quickly relay into the real estate business? And yeah, how
Um, I feel relationships are key. I
yeah,
mean, if so the relationships that I built in the gym,
yeah,
they felt comfortable with me. If they're going to trust me with their fitness and journey and their life, they're going to trust me to sell their house.
yes,
So I actually correlated that too as well. I mean, and that's by building relationships, because I could have had a gym, had others running, and not worry about building relationships with anybody in my gym, because
yeah,
they were coming just to actually work out. It wasn't about the relationship, but I correlated that to become part of my gym. Same thing I do in this industry. Any agent that I speak to or member, I mean member, I say member because they are members, but any client that I speak to, it's about building that relationship, because then also you build a relationship with agents. They're going to be like, I loved working with Spencer. He was phenomenal. He got us to the closing table in 5 seconds.
sure,
So I feel
yeah,
like those relationships too are very important, not just the client, but the agent. Because if the agent feels like that was an easy deal, they're going to be like, oh, what is she list today? Or, I'm not saying that's going to be the only thing, but they're not going to be opposed to using you. Sometimes agent can be a little conflict and want to be better than you or whatever it may be, but
yeah,
that's not nobody's better than anybody. We're all just trying to have our conclusion is to get to uh, the
the closing
table
time. Yeah,
and get a
yeah,
commission.
yeah, yeah. I
So
guess we're getting
our
paid to
goal
do
is
it. Absolutely.
yeah, so that's kind of, I mean, I just when I correlated, I mean, I don't feel the fitness industry is different because it doesn't as really have the physical aspect of it,
Yeah,
but as far as relationships, um communication, and making sure that everything's wide open from the beginning, from
yeah,
the second that you get an offer or make an offer. If
yep.
you have open communication lines, then I feel like sometimes it's not going to work out, obviously, but I feel you will have a better chance successfully if the communications and relationships are input in the meantime.
I
And that's
100% yeah, on all sides. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. When it comes to like getting to work out, because obviously you're definitely an expert when it comes to working out and training women. What would be like some things that you would recommend women focus on to get established in a workout routine and kind of really figure out like how to figure out this whole weight loss journey or this workout thing that a lot of people are
Yeah.
trying
No,
to.
I mean, I think, first of all, everybody has their own kind of, I think, way of doing things.
Yep.
But I feel like if you wake up and journal, so journaling typically brings you alive. It,
Uh-huh.
it, it sets you up for success. So if you journal and you say, I'm going to work out at least 3 days, and every day you put that in your journal, 3 days this week. Also, on top of that, making an appointment, like as if you are going on a listing appointment or if you're actually going on a showing appointment. If you put it in your daily regimen and make it an appointment, it's not an appointment that you're going to miss. And I feel like once you start doing that, it takes 21 days to typically create a what am I trying to say? 21 days to
Habit.
create a habit. Thank you. And so if you do this for 21 days, it's all it takes.
Yeah.
And once you've done something for 21 days, then you feel lost without it because you're like, wait, I've been doing this. And I would say focus on just the workout at first. Don't focus on, okay, I'm gonna change my diet, I'm gonna work out, and I'm gonna work out 7 days a week. Because then you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
I would say aim for small goals if it's 3 days a week, and then I'm gonna aim for 4 days a week, and then I'm gonna add salads in my life or take out the Cokes. I think
Sure.
little obstacles is what's going to get you to success, not creating a whole overall U-Haul of who you're going to be and what you're going to do next week.
Yeah.
That's
It's too
too
overwhelming. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that
I
yeah.
think
I mean, like in the new year, everybody's like, okay, that's it. I'm not eating. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm taking everything out of my diet. I'm working out 7 days a week. Well, that's why people fail because that's a lot to. That's like saying I'm going from selling 1 million to 10 million next year. I'm not saying it's not possible,
sure, but
but
it's
you
gonna
want
be
to set those obtainable goals so you have success.
correct, yeah, because you're
And
gonna feel
so,
like honestly, you're gonna kind of feel like a complete loser if you tell yourself you're gonna work out 7 days a week and eat X amount of calories and this, that, and the other, and then after day 3, you're like, I can't handle this, like, this is too much." And that's just because the goal was too unrealistic to begin with.
right. So I feel like if you set realistic goals, then they're obtainable, and then you have success. And then you can maybe in 3 months change your goals, or a month, make a time frame where you can change your goals. So then that way you set yourself up for success. That success makes you want to continue with that journey of working out. And it could be not weight loss. It could be that you have more energy and you're more vibrant and confidence and then you're better for your family because then you're not as stressed because you're relieving that stress during that appointment because you're
Yeah,
actually going to work out. So I feel
yeah.
like it all goes hand in hand. I feel like working out it correlates to everything in your life, or it can if you choose it to be.
And I think that's a huge thing to highlight, though. It's like going to the gym isn't just about like looking good at the beach or this, that, the other. Like it can be just about relieving the stress of the job. I mean, obviously, real estate can be very stressful and might be really stressful, especially right now with transaction volume down and everything that's kind of happening. I think being able to have that 30 minutes or hour to kind of carve out, not focus on the transaction and just listen to some music or listen to whatever and get a workout and get a run in is a great way to clear your head and take care of yourself because like you were saying before, like if you don't show up for yourself 100%, how are you going to show up for everybody else in your life, your family, your spouse, your kids, your clients, the other agents on the other side? Like you've got to be taking care of yourself first in order to execute on a daily basis.
No, I agree 100%. And I feel like people who don't exercise maybe don't understand that just yet.
Yeah,
But if you just start implementing in your life, it could be 2 days a week. It could be even walking around the block. It doesn't necessarily have to be a workout per se. Because
yeah.
people sometimes, I feel, get a little bit negative vibes and they're like, I have to go work out. No, why
You
don't you
can
go take a
exercise
walk
at
with your
gym.
son? It could
Yeah,
be anything. I want to go
yeah,
play soccer with my son. It
yeah,
doesn't necessarily have to be a workout. If you're moving, that could be a workout. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a workout. I feel like sometimes uh, people put that in their head and then it becomes really negative instead of positive. So it could just
yeah,
be moving on a daily. How
yeah,
many steps? Did you do 10,000 steps today?
yeah.
That could be a workout.
Yeah,
Aim to
just
do 20,000 in the next month or whatever it may be. So then that way you're setting obtainable goals like we talked about. But it doesn't necessarily, people who don't work out, it doesn't have to be, you have to get a membership and hone in on that gym. It's not about that. It's
Yeah.
about becoming a healthier version of you, whatever that
But I
may look
think
like.
on that topic too, I think it's doing something that you like. I mean, if you don't feel comfortable running because like running is not your thing, well then maybe weightlifting's your thing, or maybe kayaking's your thing, or maybe skiing's your thing. Who knows? But it's like it's just getting out there sometimes and just well trying a couple things, figuring out what's gonna like fit best with your schedule and like what you enjoy, and then kind of doubling down on that. But I think that's a big thing is too, is that we're not limited just to lifting weights in the gym. Like there's so many
Right.
different ways we can stay fit and stay active.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of people like to dance, find
Yeah.
a dance fitness. I mean, whatever it may be. I mean, whatever your thing is. But I feel like when you put a gym or you put a word to working out, then they feel like, or I don't know, people who don't already work out. Some people already work out are all in, and I always hone more on the people that actually were nervous and didn't know what to do and didn't know how to work out, because those are the ones that you want to actually touch and emotionally grasp what they're feeling, because they are scared, and those are
Yeah.
the people that you want to actually be successful. Because the ones who work out every day, I'm not saying they're going to be successful, but they already have that mindset. It's to
Correct.
get the ones who don't have that mindset and that are apprehensive, scared, nervous, whatever it is, to say that I'm going to work out. It's to change their mindset that it's going to make you feel better and it's going to make you more confident, and the whole overall vibe, like you said, like the lifestyle. It's going to change your whole lifestyle, from your career to your family to everything. It's not just one part of your life that it changes because of your mental state. It changes your mental state. And so your mental state then changes everything, I feel.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% like spot on. Um, for people that want to like reach out to you and get connected with you, maybe they are feeling nervous about the gym or working out, and they see 2024 is just right around the corner, but they're not sure exactly where to start. Obviously, they probably got some great tips from this podcast, but what would be a great way for them to reach out to you, connect with you? So maybe you could give them a couple tips and pointers as
Sure. Of course, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and that's Khristie, Khriscie. I think it's on there, but it's GoBear, GAUBERT gas. But they can also, I give my cell phone number out to anybody, 337-349-8050. Half of my clients at my gym have my number.
yeah,
So I'm not opposed to that. I feel like sometimes you don't get enough when you on my Instagram or my Facebook, or even sometimes you really want to hear someone's voice and you don't get reflection from text
yep,
sometimes. So they could text me as well, but sometimes you want more than that, than just you want an actual voice. Or they could email me. I have an email if they prefer email. KLGass realtor at gmail.com. So they have a lot of ways to contact me, but I'm not opposed to any way. I know some people don't like to talk on the phone or so forth, but I feel like, or text or whatever. But I feel like those are easier ways to build that confidence than an email. I feel email is not personal. I
yeah,
feel I feel those things, and I want to get personal. I want to find out why you're not working out. What can I help you to actually walk into the gym? How can I give you that confidence? Or can I go with you if you're in my area? I'm in Lafayette, Louisiana. I mean, I won't mind going with you if you need that
yeah.
friend to go with you and walk on the treadmill. So I feel like sometimes, that's another, they don't have maybe that vote of confidence in their life, and help them to make that first step. So yeah, I would love to help however I can.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Chrissy. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Fit Agent Show, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank
Cool.
you.